Good afternoon, everyone. This is Miss Charlene, and today in the studio I have Mr. Cory Newman. And Cory is going to be talking to us about his two businesses, and also he's going to be talking to us about a topic I think all of us can use some encouragement in, and that is to be network for yourself so that you can, as a professional, get additional business, meet people, and expand your territory. So, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. It's a real pleasure.
Absolutely. Cory, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I am the owner of DJ Party Pros, and we are a full-service DJ company. I started as a bouncer at a nightclub in 1998. I was just 21 years old, and I met the DJ there, and I was working at the bar, and he and I became really good friends, and then eventually roommates. And in 2000, he had a friend that owned a company that had a last-minute party. And he said, I need you to, this guy needs a DJ for tonight. And so at 23 years old, no experience, I went, picked up the equipment, and went and did the party. And it was for a Mormon missionary returning from missionary work. And so
what
it was,
kind of music was that?
it was mostly pop.
Oh,
so at
okay.
the time, you know, in 2000, that was probably not New Kids on the Block. I always say that, but it was probably NSYNC and Britney Spears. Yeah. And obviously no alcohol at the party, no caffeinated sodas because they were Mormons.
Right.
So I did that first one, and then I did one the next week, and then it turned into a every week thing. He had a party for me to do, and I loved it because I loved being autonomous. I would go pick up the equipment, go do the party, pick up the check, bring the equipment back to him, and that was it. Well, in 2002, people kept asking me, "Are you going to go on your own? I want to hire you. I don't care about the company you work for." And so I went on my own. We bought equipment, my business partner and I, and we went and started our company, DJ Party Pro. So in February 2002. So I've been on my own now for 12 years.
Wow. DJ Party Pro, that's great.
Right.
And you're from one end from San Diego to,
Yeah.
What is your territory like from San Diego to how far?
Wherever the
north
parties
you go?
are, yeah.
Okay.
I have a wedding next year scheduled for Las Vegas. I'll be in Las Vegas
Wow.
in April. I've done weddings in Indianapolis where I flew out there for a family and they wanted me to MC, and so I got equipment from a vendor out there and did the wedding out there. I've been to San Diego several times. I go down there several years, but mostly here in Los Angeles is where my events are. I'm very blessed to have 2 contracts with country clubs. So the way that works is when someone gets married, for instance, on this Friday I have a wedding. They don't have a DJ of their own. Our company supplies their DJ. So it's either me or one of my 16 people that work for me will go and be the DJ for their event. And that works out really well for them.
Wow. So my next question is, so you've been in business for 12 years
Yes.
as a professional DJ,
Right.
and you have 16 people who work for you?
Give or take, yeah. They all own their own businesses, and this is the great part about it, but they all do a lot of work for me.
Okay.
So because we have so many parties, we're going to do over 330 events this year. Yeah, this one year.
Wow.
Yeah, so because I have so many, I can't do them all myself. I'd be very tired,
You're
right?
working every day.
Every day, right. So sometimes we have 5 or 6 or 8 or 9 events in one day. So I assign them to the DJs. They work obviously for my company as an independent contractor for me. They go out and do the events, and then we write them a check, and everyone's happy. So and we get a lot of positive feedback from the people that work with us.
That is wonderful. Now, as an entrepreneur and building your business, one of the questions that I'd like to ask my guests is, like you said, when you first did your first show, you were a little nervous, a little apprehensive, but you
Right.
just did it.
Right.
And so we talk about walking through fears all the time and how you get to the other side of that. And some people just say, I just jumped out there and did it. And some people have to pump themselves into it. What are the steps you take when you're doing something for the very first time, or even if you've done it before, but the audience is much larger, or whatever, where you have to pump yourself up to do it?
As many events as I've done, and I've done this year probably 112, 113 events, I still get a little bit of nervousness thinking about the event on my way to it. And I just kind of prepare mentally and know that I've done it before, but with the new venture, which we're going to talk about here in a second, the school, the academy, it is a little bit scary because I've never taught DJing before. I've always done it, but never taught it. So they say that everything you want is on the other side of fear.
That's right.
And so sometimes you have to push yourself through the things to get to the other side, and it's a mental game.
Yeah.
You have to tell yourself, look, okay, what's the worst that could happen? Everyone likes to play what's the worst game. And that's not necessarily always the best thing, because your brain will create.
We'll go to what's the
It will. It'll create a lot more stuff that actually happens.
That's right.
And then when you finally go through it, whatever it is, whether it's a relationship challenge or starting a business or having to make a difficult phone call, when you do it, you're always better for it afterwards. And I just try to build on that. Every time I do something where it scared me before, like having children. Never had kids before, and I remember bringing my first son home, and for 4 days he was in the hospital. But that first day you bring him home, there's no more nurses around to help you. It's just all you now. But fortunately, I think God has a plan with children. He makes them sleep a lot when they're little, so that way He gives you time to figure it all out. And you just do. You just kind of figure it all out. And so when I have fears, I just go, okay. I kind of remember my past experiences and wins, and go, look, I've done well before. I'll learn my way through whatever it is I'm going through. And that's kind of how I get through the fear stuff.
Absolutely. And I've been at events where you were DJ.
Right.
I could never be able to tell, and I've heard you at speaking engagements, you cannot tell that you would ever have that little apprehension at first.
Yeah.
Because you always walk in so self-assured and smiling and talking to everyone, and when it's time for you to, go on and do your set, you just do it, and you have the crowd going crazy. So I would never think that you'd have a little apprehension or when going to that set, you would be a little like,
each event has its own life, and so it doesn't matter if I've done your event 3 times. This new year that's coming up, it's another event, so I have to think, what's going to happen? My brain plays the what if game too. What if something's different this time? And because I've done so many events, I have that thought. I go, okay, let's just go and check it out. And then when I get there, I remember this is what I do. I do fantastic events. It's like with you. You're a mortgage lender. You're going to find weird stuff when you start to uncover people's finances, but your mind can play tricks on you. But then you just go, this is what I do. I get people qualified. I get them into homes. That's what. Same thing with me. I do parties. I do them very well. Let's go and do what I know how to do.
Absolutely. This is a great segue into a new business that you are going into now. Tell us a little bit about that. Tell us what it is and what you're doing.
Well, I love the DJ industry. I didn't grow up going, I'm gonna be DJ. I just kind of fell into it from working with that company. And so I love 2 things. I love DJing and I love teaching. And I decided to combine those 2 into an organization called the Professional DJ Academy. So I haven't done much research, but I imagine this is the only one that's out there, where we teach 3 things. We teach people how to play great music at events. One of the reasons why I started this school is because when I was doing events, people would say, or when I would be out telling people I'm a DJ, 90% of the stories I got back were negative stories. Oh, I hired a DJ, he played the wrong music. Oh, he showed up late. Or he wore, a t-shirt and jeans at my really nice party. And the professionals never dress like that. We have a code of ethics with it. We never steal business from anyone. We always dress professionally. We always show up on time. And so I thought, well, maybe I could help the industry as a whole by teaching people that wanted to learn how to really be a professional DJ. So there's 3 things we teach: how to play great music, which is a crucial part of being a great DJ; how to be a great MC. And most of the people hire me for that. They hire me to make announcements at their events. And so there's a skill to being a great MC. You have to know what to say, you have to know how to say it, and then the third part is running a successful DJ company. What else do you do?
Right.
It's always the other thing. Like, that's what you do when you're not doing your real business. And I say, this is it. I make between $2,000 and $8,000 a weekend just doing this, and then during the week I don't have to work because my family and my life is supported by the events we do on the weekend. Now that means I'm working virtually every weekend, but I'd rather work 2 days and have 5 off.
That's right.
Than work 5 days and have 2 off.
That's
right?
True.
So I have today, I have Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays off, and it's wonderful. A lot of people do, yeah. We're very blessed to have a nice business and that we've built, and I can show people how to really make a $100,000 business in the DJ industry. And you have to work like anything, but it's well worth it. Yeah.
Wow. Another question I have about the DJ business, or as far as your company is concerned.
Yes.
Now, when do classes start?
Classes are going to start January 21st, 2015,
Okay.
and they're in the evening, 6:30 to 9:30. Okay, and so the class is 3 hours long, and it's basically divided into the first half is book learning. We're going to have a manual that we're going to teach you all the things you need to learn. The second half of the class, which is virtually about 8 o'clock to 9:30 p.m., will be practical. We're going to teach you how to mix music together. We're going to teach you how to properly hold a microphone, We're going to teach you how to set up all the equipment. All these things that I never learned how to do.
Right.
Remember my first party, I
got thrown in.
I got thrown in. I picked up equipment. I picked up CDs at the time, and now I don't use CDs anymore. It's all digital on laptops. But I got thrown in. I don't want someone to go through what I went through. I want to give them kind of the tools to, when they're done with the school at the 8th week and they graduate, and there's a graduation ceremony and a big party, they're ready to get their business started, select their logo, get their business off and running in the DJ business. And so 8 weeks long, so it starts January 21st through the middle of March, and when they finally end or when they finally graduate, they're ready to start their DJ career.
Wow. Now, do you mentor them also?
Absolutely. After the class is done, they'll have complete access to me, whether it be through email or text messages, or I have a really big Facebook presence, so I friend everyone I meet on Facebook, and that way it keeps my network, which we'll talk about later on, very large. But yeah, they'll have access to me when it comes to questions about how to start my company, or I just got a phone call about this, they'll have access to me.
Now, how many students do you have at a time?
Each class will have a minimum 10, could be as many as 15 or 20, but I want to keep the class sizes small so that I have individual attention with each student. Also, what I want them to do is create a little mini networking group within the school. Yeah, because the way it works is if you're booked for a day and then the second call comes in, that second call, what do you do with that call? Do you just say, I'm busy, turn it away? Or do you have a full-fledged business where you can get someone else to work it, work out the details of what you're going to pay them, and make a little extra money? That's called leveraged income.
That's right.
And they don't teach you that in school. What do they teach you in school? Go get an education, go get a job, that's it.
Punch the clock, get off the clock.
That's it. And have the weekends off and do whatever you do on the weekends, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks of paid vacation a year. Now, I take about 12 vacation weeks a year. That sounds like a lot, right? But I also work a lot, right? I take about 1 or 2 a month. So if you have people that work for you, you don't have to work every party. You work smarter, not harder. And so that's what I hope they learn within being in the class. When they first start, I'm going to get them the camaraderie built within all the students, because I want them to be each other's school. Let's say a student has a party they don't want to do because they're scared. They can use me. I'll do their party because I don't have an ego. I just want the check.
That's
I don't care. I don't care who books it. I just want the money. So we're going to be teaching networking. We're going to be teaching team building, camaraderie in the school. It'll all be around the DJ industry, but they're going to learn so much more than just how to press buttons. This business is not about that. It's about relationships.
And that's less ego, more checks.
Absolutely. And I love that.
Less ego, more checks.
If everyone gets paid.
How much does the school cost? How much does it cost to come to the school?
Well, originally I had thought about the price of $2,000. I thought within $2,000 they could make their money back within about 3 months. Okay, and for the first school, because this is a brand new idea, so I haven't even had the inaugural class yet. I decided to lower
this
it.
will be your inaugural class.
January 21st. I keep saying June, but January 21st will be the first class. The price has been lowered from $2,000 to just $500.
Wow.
$500.
So the inaugural class will get in for $500.
Absolutely.
Per person. That is
Per person.
great.
Yeah.
And so because I know you're going to get some people who really want to do this.
Right.
So what phone number would they reach you at?
Since it's just me right now and running school, they can call me directly. So I'm going to give you a phone number and an email address.
Okay, so write this number down. If you're a listener, write this number down.
Very good. So my personal cell phone, you can call or text me, is 909 area code 996 7775. I'll do it one more time. 909 996 7775. And the email address for the school is professionaldjacademy@gmail.com. So that's professionaldjacademy@gmail.com. They can call me or text me with their questions, or to RSVP for the class, or they can email me and I'll get back to them first.
That's going to be a great opportunity. Great opportunity.
I can't wait for the first $100,000 a year DJ earner that says, I went through the school and this is what's happened for me. I want the success stories.
I want the
And so do I. And one of the things someone said is, aren't you worried that you're a DJ, you're creating your competition? And I said, well, if I were in the DJ business solely, then I would be creating my competition. But now I'm in the DJ instruction.
That's right.
And in that category, I have no competition. So I'm excited to create some people out there making income from doing what I've loved doing for the last 14 years.
And it really will expand your business, because you'll have these students who will go on to be successful, will have too much business,
Right.
for themselves, and they'll interact with each other and with you. And like you said, no ego, just a check.
Just a check.
So,
right.
They'll come across times when they need to utilize you or someone in your network, and it's just going to grow from there.
Absolutely. One of the things I have established now is I have a group of DJs that meet once a month called the DJ Roundtable.
Wow.
And we meet the last Tuesday of the month in Pasadena. And anyone's welcome to come. If you're an aspiring DJ, you can come to our meetings. They're free. And it's about 20 of us, all of us with our own businesses, all of us DJs, and we help each other all the time. So there's the in-person meetings once a month, and then we have a Facebook group online. And so let's say I have an event that I can't cover, I'll put it in the group, and someone will say, hey, I can take that. And maybe the events are sometimes from $200 to $300 up to $1,000 or $1,500. That means we keep the money within us.
That's
And
right.
it may not be something I want to do, or I may not be available, but I can give it to one of my brother and sister DJs, and they can do it. And it keeps all the money, within the family. And I love that.
Also, it keeps the integrity intact because
Absolutely.
the person you're referring is
Right.
going to do a professional job. They're not going to show up, like you said,
Right.
not dressed properly. They're going to conduct themselves in a professional manner while they're there, and they're going to show up on time.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the DJ industry has gotten a little bit of a bad rap. It's not a licensed profession, so it's not like a realtor or an attorney or a mortgage lender. Anyone that wants to, that has a laptop, can say, okay, I'm a DJ. And so if they're doing an unprofessional job, they salt the industry for the rest of us that are doing a great job. And there's no boundaries for income. So sometimes you have someone that says, oh, I'll do your party for $100. And then they'll call me and I'll say, I'll do your party for $1,000. Well, they're saying to themselves, one person says 100, one's 1,000. What's the difference? The proof is in the pudding,
Exactly.
as they say, right? So if you're going to hire a DJ for $1,000, hopefully you're getting someone very professional that came recommended to you. And if you're hiring for someone for $100, the only thing I can say is beware.
Exactly. The proper practice.
They are, absolutely, yes.
So, with your new business, it starts, the class are 8 weeks? you said?
8 weeks
8
long.
weeks long.
Yeah.
And the inaugural group will be charged $500 per person.
Absolutely.
And the class size is like 10 to 15 people,
Yes.
max 20.
Max 20.
Max 20.
Mhm.
Okay. And then when you teach this class, is it just going to be you teaching the class, or is it going to be you and someone else?
No, I have all my DJs that do work for me. I'm building the curriculum with them.
Okay.
So I have, in fact, here I have all my notes that I brought with me today, and we're going over the types of music people need to know how to play. So it's not just me. I don't believe in doing anything just by myself. I always believe in the power of a team.
Right. That's what I wanted to.
Absolutely, yeah. So the teamwork idea is, we can't do all the events this year without the DJs, and the DJs are professionals just like I am. So the DJs will also have a responsibility and also teaching the classes, because once the first class begins, I want it to grow sort of organically. So there will be other classes regionally that are available. Plus, I plan on recording the classes and putting them online for people that want to watch them. Because if you're not in the LA market, you may hear about how great this is, but can't don't have access. But once we record them and then make them available online for a fee, you'll be able to kind of go and take the classes and learn the information. So whether you're in Branson, Missouri, or you're in New York, you'll be able to go through all the classes. So I have a staff of instructors, and they'll be able to help with answering the questions and giving their story about how they got involved in the DJ industry. And the story of how you got involved and what happened is important.
So what type of students are you looking for? Like age range and things like that? What type of students would make a good student for you?
Well, I think about when I got started, I was 23 years old. And the DJ business, it can be a late night business. If you're doing clubs, it can be sometimes till 2 in the morning. I have a friend of mine who's the opening DJ for will.i.am. So he works for will.i.am, and they fly him to Las Vegas, and he goes and does. He just turned 21. So it's a young person's business. So the ideal client for me, for someone to go through the school, is between the age of about 19 years old to 30. And that's where I was. I was 23 when I got started. And maybe they don't have a family yet, or they're just starting to put it together. Maybe they even have a job. The reason why I wanted this school in the evening, so they can go to their 9-to-5 job and do that, and then after they're done, come to the school at 6:30, which is the time it begins, and then go from 6:30 to 9:30 learning this profession. And so when you're young like that, it's easier for you to be out late. I'm 37 now, so it's been 14 years. And I have a family, a wife, and 2 children, so I like to be home late at night. But most weddings don't end at 2 o'clock in the morning. Most weddings end around 9 or 10 or 11. So between 19 and 30, but here's the big thing. In order to be successful in this industry, you gotta have a great personality.
That's right.
You have to. Or you gotta love people. I know some DJs that don't love people. And it's, you're in the people business.
That's right.
Right. And sometimes you see people at their worst. Sometimes when people drink,
That's right.
they're not always, they're not always friendly, And so you have to be patient and you have to, have at least a fundamental enjoyment of people because you're in the people business, And so, but at 20 to 30 is kind of the ideal. And men and women, it's a male-dominated industry, but that doesn't mean a woman can't come in and have a very powerful business and hire men to be her DJs, right? So, the important thing is we're teaching entrepreneurialism. We're not teaching you just go out and book parties for yourself. That's great, but you'll wear yourself out. If you have a group or a business that can do the events that you can't do, you're creating income for someone else.
Right.
That's the first thing. You're now leveraged. You're making money without having to be there while you sleep or whatever. And now you have a business where it's not going to wear you out, where you're doing every part of yourself.
And then it can also be a way of making additional income.
Absolutely.
So if you have a day job that you enjoy,
Right.
you're not
Don't
trying
leave
to get
it.
away from it.
Don't
Even
leave
if
it.
you don't enjoy it, don't leave it.
Right.
Build your clientele, build your customer base, and get yourself to a space where that can be your choice.
Absolutely. Yeah. You want choices.
You want choices in life.
And two, one of the things we're going to teach is everyone says, I want to be a DJ. Okay, I need equipment. And they go out and they get themselves into debt, at Guitar Center or Sam Ash going to buy equipment. One of the things we're going to teach is don't buy equipment. Go spend money you're going to spend on equipment and go get yourself some clients. Because there are places out there that will rent you equipment for $100, $200, good quality equipment. Now you have some clients. You've charged them a certain amount. You're going to have to pay a little bit to the rental company, but then now you're not in debt,
Right, and you're saving your money towards paying for it, and you're not getting into debt.
And that's what we didn't do. We didn't get into debt when we bought our first set of equipment. We were already DJing, we worked our regular jobs. What we did was a karaoke night once a week. And we made $200 a night, my business partner and I. It's called Hip Hop Karaoke.
Really?
And they paid us $200 every Monday night, and we took that money and we went and bought a speaker.
Okay.
And then we bought another speaker. And then we bought a mixer, and then we bought a laptop. And so that's how we built it. It was just piece by piece.
Because you don't want to go into debt before you know whether or not the business is going to sustain itself.
Right. The financial lunch bunch would not recommend
No, we do not
going to get into debt of any kind. Right.
Any kind,
Right.
But if you have to go into debt, it would be good that we'll talk about that on another show.
Right, that's a whole different
but
show.
in this case, when you're building a new business, you want to do it in a way that is not going to be, it's going to be cost effective where you will be able to sustain whatever lifestyle you have.
Right.
And build on that, not take away from it.
If you make a large investment in equipment, you have really shiny equipment and no one to play it for because you have no clients.
And then you'll be that DJ.
You'll be that guy.
$400.
That's right. Trying to recoup your investment.
That's right.
Right.
Welcome to this is Accelerated Radio Praise, 24-hour gospel music and talk. You can call us at 323-238-0445 with questions and comments. You can also listen to us on www.acceleratedradio.net. And you can tune into my show. I'm Miss Charlene, and this is Lunch with the Finance Lunch. We're here every Friday. And so now, Cory, we're going to get to another part of the show, something I wanted to talk to you about that our listeners, I think, they need, no matter what business they're in, and especially like a DJ business, they
Right.
definitely need this. And that's networking. And we all need to do it. A lot of us are afraid to do it. I'm apprehensive every time I have to go out, but I do because I know it's important for my business. And so let's talk a little bit about networking. And first of all, how good it is for your business to network.
Absolutely. Well, I like to tell stories, so I'm going to tell a story of how I got involved. So I had a friend that was involved in another business, and he called me up in October of 2005 and said, I'm part of this exclusive networking group called Team Referral Network, and we're looking for a DJ. Would you come to what's called an invitation day? And it was Tuesdays at lunch. And back then I wasn't doing anything productive Tuesdays. I was off through the weekend and working the weekends. And so I came to my first meeting and I got my first referral. And my first referral wasn't for a party, but it was to meet an event planner. And I didn't know at the time, but we call that the DJ and the event planner. Those two are power partners, right? Just like a realtor and a mortgage lender. They're in the same industry, but service the client in different ways. And so because of that first referral I got, I said, this is awesome, I'm going to join. And the membership for that networking group was $245. So I looked at what we were charging at the time, which is about $125 an hour. And I said, if I get 2 hours booked, there's my income, there's my money back. So I had a business partner, I said at the time, he said it was too expensive. I said, you're dumb and I'm smart, I'm gonna join this thing. And my first year made thousands of dollars. Now since then, that was in 2005, now we're in 2014, I've literally made hundreds of thousands of dollars from referrals, people referring me for, their kids' events and weddings and corporate events and all kinds of things. So I didn't know much about networking when I first started, but because of my open schedule, not only did I join a chapter of Team Referral Network, but I became what's called a director for that, which is how I learned networking. So a director is assembling chapters of team. That's how you and I met, because I'm the director of your chapter. And so what I've learned about networking, and I kind of put together a list, if I'll go over that with you, you can ask me questions. But there's 5 successful steps. There's 5 steps to being successful at networking. So if it scares you or if it intimidates you, you can make it work. But you have to take, like anything, there's steps to get it done. So the first thing is, if you don't like people, that's a problem. That's a problem. You got to get out there,
you
right?
Start with liking people.
You have to start with liking them, or not even liking them. You have to start with at least getting to know them. Okay, so getting to know more people. So what I do is when I'm out, whether it be a networking event or a DJ event, if I know your name, I go and find you on Facebook, and I become Facebook friends. So my wife doesn't get it. My wife has about 300 Facebook friends. I have 3,500, 3,000. She's like, do you know all those people? Of course I don't know them, but I use it for networking, right? So as I meet people, I network. And so I have this little theory that I've created called networking versus not working. If you're home and you're not meeting people, that's called not working. If you're out there, networking is simply connecting two things that weren't connected. So for instance, if I said, I have a friend named Jim, and Jim's looking to buy a home, I now can connect them to a fantastic mortgage lender and a fantastic realtor. So he doesn't know that. He's looking for someone to be connected to, that's professional, and I can connect them. That's all networking is connecting two things. And so we're now in this sharing economy now, right? If you look at all these websites are sharing. Facebook is sharing your status. What are you doing today? Yelp is sharing your experience. Hey, I went to this, retailer or this restaurant, had a fantastic. Everything's about sharing. All networking is sharing your information, your contacts, your information. So getting to know people is the first step to being a successful network.
Now, I have a question about that, getting to know people. So are you saying that you should just get to know people that are related businesses to yours? So if I grab my business card and I decided to go to a networking event, should I start out by sticking to people who are within, my sphere of influence? So as a mortgage banker, would I just go to networking events that mortgage bankers would go to, or should I kind of branch out, or how does a person get started?
Where's your next big referral going to come from?
My next big referral will come from a branch.
A branch?
A real estate branch.
Okay.
So for me, as a lender, I would try to find a way of getting into a real estate office, right?
Okay.
And let them understand what type of products I have. So I would want to do a presentation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I believe that you can get referrals from anywhere, but you should focus on people what we call within your power partner.
Yes.
So for your industry, obviously realtors, escrow people, title people, even property and casualty insurance agent, anyone involved in the transaction of a sale of real property. That would be it. For me, it's exactly the same thing. If I'm in the special events industry, I get a lot of my referrals from florists, from photographers, from event planners, from venues. I get a lot of venues that refer their brides to me. They say, we've had Cory here, he's awesome, give him a call. And that's just from doing good work.
Right.
So I think it is important to build those relationships with people within your power partnership, but you can get a great referral from anyone.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things I say is, look, people look at the mortgage lender industry and the DJ industry and think there's no way those two can ever do business together. By the way, what you think about expands.
That's right.
So if you think it'll never happen, the universe goes, we'll make sure it never happens. But if you can put together an idea that says, how can we work together? Not we can't, but how can we? We'll make it work. So let's give it a scenario. If I know someone getting married, and let's say they're in their mid-20s, and I'm doing their wedding, how could I refer that to Cheryl, right? To Charlie, excuse me. So if they're getting married, then what else do they need after they're married? They need a place to live. And so you're in the unique business of doing that. And so now, one transaction is helping a realtor find them a place, a mortgage lender getting them the loan, the escrow, the title, the property and casualty. And I've seen that happen over and over again, where one person starts the process and then they just help all the other vendors that come from that. Same thing with me. Someone gets flowers. Oh, do you have a DJ? You need to call Cory. He's amazing. And that starts the process. So that's how we help each other. So power partnerships don't always, aren't always the easiest to see. But if you can just have that idea of how can we work together, we'll make it work. So that's step number 2. Create strategic alliances. Find people in your industry and then create those alliances. Find others that service the clients that you service. Right? If you're in the home building industry, if you're a general contractor, partner up with a landscape architect, a handyman. There's a bunch of business that can be done right within your group if you keep it, and that takes building the relationship. Absolutely, all of that. All those people that deal with homes and the servicing of homes, you can definitely have that. So that's step number 2. Step number 1, you got to meet more people.
That's right.
Step number 2 is create, once you've met the people you want to meet, especially ones in those same circles of influence, then create relationships with them, what we call strategic partnerships or power partnerships with them. All right. Step 3 is that partnership. Once you've created that, it must be mutually beneficial. What that means is the universe always wants to. It's always putting out. It wants to respond to action. Okay. So some people. I'll tell you a little story that will illustrate this. There are 2 birds. There's 3 birds sitting on a wire, and 2 decide to leave. How many birds are left? Right. All 3 is the correct answer. Now, why are all 3 birds left?
Why are all 3 birds left?
Because 2 decided to leave, but they never took action. See, so a lot of people decide to start businesses. That's great, but they never take action. So the universe responds to action. So when you go out there and you develop referrals for your referral partners, the universe sees that. And it says, I want you to have more business because you're putting in. Some people call it karma. Years ago, the movie The Secret came out and everyone said, oh, it's The Secret. It's always been there. And what it is...
The Bible is seed time and harvest.
That's it.
So you plant seed and you get a return.
That's it. And it's it. If it's in the Bible, we know.
That's right. That's right.
That's it, right. It's not, we know it's for sure. So, right. So you need to create those, it needs to be mutually beneficial. If you're receiving referrals from someone, you need to find a way to be reciprocating that. Because what happens, and I'll ask you, if you're receiving a bunch of referrals from someone, or you're giving a bunch of referrals to someone, but they're not giving anything back, what happens?
It's a short lived.
It is. You're going to go find someone else.
Who is going to reciprocate?
Absolutely. There's more than one mortgage lender. There's more than one DJ. There's more than one of everything out there. And people love to do business with people they know, like, and trust, and where they're going to have it be reciprocated.
And what I found too, Cory, is that people sometimes look for things to be returned in the same way, and that's not necessarily so.
Right.
But it has to be reciprocated. So for instance, I may refer someone to you who will need a DJ, and it turns into a great find, and then they're referring business to you, and then on your end, you may come into my show.
Right.
Right? It has nothing to do with mortgage banking per se, but it's reciprocated.
Right.
So that's the other thing I think people should understand is that people may not give back to you in a way that you gave to them, but you start the process and you'll see how it builds. Right.
And that's why you let the universe take care of that.
Exactly.
In a positive way and in a negative way. We always hear people say, I hope they get what's coming to them. Well, let that happen over there. Let's take care of us.
About it.
Right. The universe has a way of taking care of the people that it needs to take care of and doing other things with the people it needs to do other things with, right? So, you're absolutely right. It doesn't always come back to you from the people that gave it, but because of the sharing nature of the universe, and if you're doing good, usually good comes back. I don't believe anything long-term good comes to bad people. And I mean people that do bad things, and vice versa. I don't think anything bad comes to people that have a life of goodness.
That's right.
And I believe that's just the golden rule, do unto others. So if you're always giving positive to others, I believe that comes back to you. And I've seen it in my life. I do good things. I donate my time a lot for nonprofit.
You donate your time to us every year for Mother's Day.
Every year, and I love that.
And we love having you.
Right.
All the ladies love it. All the volunteers love it. The music is great.
I love it. It's amazing. And we party. It's a great event. And then my phone rings on Monday, and someone's getting married.
Yes.
And I don't know where it came from. It just happened to show up on my voicemail. Hey, I heard you're a great DJ. I want to hire you for my wedding. And there's the business. And I never take it for granted. I keep putting good in because I want to reap as the Bible says, reap, good, out. That's
Well,
what
you
it's all
said
about.
something important too. You said you never take it for granted, so you're
Right.
grateful.
I am grateful
And
every
so
day.
that's another thing. People have to be grateful in small things and in large.
Absolutely.
You know,
Right.
and I think we kind of overlook that sometimes on our way to success.
Sure.
We stop being grateful for the little things.
Right.
And we have to keep those in mind.
Or we're thanking God for things that work out in our favor, but we're cursing Him when things don't.
Right.
It's all part of the ebb and flow of life. When things don't go your way, it's designed to teach you something.
Right.
Right? And life is always teaching us things. And so when things go our way, we're like, oh God, thank you for that blessing. When things don't go, oh God, what did I do? Hey, it's all part of the plan. He's like, look, lean on me with your whole understanding. He says, take care, let me take care of all
That's
that.
right.
And so if you do that, it works out. So
I like it.
I like it too.
Okay, so what else is on your list?
Okay, so
Good.
the top three is you got to meet people. You have to create those strategic alliances. You must be mutually beneficial. That just goes back to the Bible. Number 4 is you must follow up. Okay, you have to follow up. Right. So you go to a networking event. You have 20 business cards with you. You bring them home. You put them by your desk, and then that's where they stay. And you never pick them up again to email or to phone call.
Or say thank you.
Right.
Or
anything.
when can we get together?
Absolutely.
Or can we have a conversation?
Anything.
You just.
And remember, the universe wants action.
That's right.
You went and did one part of the action. You went to the event. Even maybe you were saying to yourself, oh man, I'm so tired. I don't want to go to this networking event. You know what? I promised such and such I'd go. And you met someone amazing. That's great. You met someone amazing. But if you don't follow up, don't expect that person to follow up with you. Some people think, well, oh, I met Joe at that event. He'll give me a call. You have to be in action. Don't wait on it. Be in action. So follow up. Whether that means an email or a phone call or just coffee or whatever. There's a great service that I love called Send Out Cards. And Send Out Cards, let's say I go to a venue and I meet a great general manager and I want to go back to that venue. Let's say it's the Malibu West Beach Club. I love the Malibu West Beach Club in Malibu. And so I can go in my online database, put in the manager's name and phone number, and it will send them a card in the mail, an actual physical greeting card with a stamp and everything. I use that a lot, and I get every time a card back in return, or a call back. Hey, I got your card. Thank you so much. Right.
People don't say thank you.
They don't, and they love to be appreciated.
That's right.
And the card it wasn't a solicitation card.
Right.
That's
It's
different.
Thank you.
It was I was at your venue. I had such a great time. Thank you for being so hospitable. When the next wedding comes in, like remember that they keep that card on their desk a lot longer than they'll keep an email or a phone call or a voicemail. So I use that service to keep in touch with people I really want to keep in touch with. So whatever your follow-up system is, Starbucks gift card or an email or a text message, you have to employ that. Yeah. They say that most sales are made between the 5th and 8th exposure. So if you're expecting people to buy on the first or second time, they don't. For whatever reason, they're not ready yet, or they're not in the buying process, whatever. So if you keep following up, whether it be with a prospect or someone you're networking with, there's a better chance that that'll work out for you.
Like mortgage banking is the same way.
Same way?
If I meet someone that pre-qualified, it doesn't mean they're going to run out and buy a house next week.
Right.
It might be a year before
Right.
they buy a home. It might be a month, 2 months. It just depends on market, whether the house that they're looking at is the one they want. There's a lot of things involved, so I have to keep following up with them, see how they're doing, updating the paperwork, and staying in communication with them, so that when they are ready, we can do it.
Absolutely. What if you met someone that had a 450 FICO score?
Oh, that's fine too, because now I need to show them how to get out from 450 to at least 620
Right.
or above.
Right.
And so that's a process too.
And that follow-up,
follow-up.
if you follow up with someone 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, they won't go anywhere else.
No, I've had so many clients start out in a position where they weren't a place the person to come home. They may have had the money, but not the FICO score. They may have had the FICO score, not the money. And we just build.
Right.
In that building process. And it's so great when you have someone that's walking hand in hand with you saying, you can do this, you can do this. And then they get there and they do it.
And they do it, right.
So,
And it was because of your help. And that's so great. If you're
follow-up.
Right, absolutely, right. And if you're the one following up, the one that follows up the best wins.
That's right.
And I love that because it doesn't mean anyone else is not doing a great job. It just means you and that client created a relationship where it worked out. And they say the fortune, and we talk about fortune on this show.
That's right.
Fortune's in the follow-up.
That's right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. What's the next one? I'm excited. This is
Okay,
fun.
so very good. So number 5, and this is, I've been trying to figure out how to say this. So I book a lot of events, and it's because, people will tell me, it's because of my attitude. So number 5 is be cordial. we were having a conversation before we started about people in my industry that are just there. You know, events are stressful. They can be stressful things. So sometimes it's someone's wedding or some event, and people flip out sometimes. And when I'm at the event, I'm trying to be the coolest guy there because, for one, I've done this not a million times, but a lot of times. But also, I've done it thousands of times, absolutely. But also, you know what? I have a rule in that I'm never playing for this event. I'm always playing for the next event. So people do business with people they know, like, and trust. In order to be someone that people know and like, you have to be cordial. You have to be nice to them. Now, that doesn't mean you let people run all over you. Some people see that and go, I can take advantage of this guy. But it's about being the nicest version of you can. And I always say, if you're at a wedding for 6 hours and you have to be there 6 hours, be the nicest version of you can for those 6. And then when you get in your car, you can be whoever you want.
That's right, I like that.
But we make a lot of money in that short amount of time. I'll make between $1,000 and $3,000 at a wedding. They're paying me a lot. I can be cordial. It happens to be part of my normal personality, but you can do that. So if you're the nicest person, people will say to you this year, oh man, we're going to book you for next year's party already. I just had that happen this weekend that just passed, and it was amazing. People like to do business with nice people. And so be a nice person. I donate my time a lot for nonprofits, and some people say, well, why would you do that? Nonprofits don't have a lot of money. No, nonprofits have plenty of money for their events, and they'll refer you to a lot of people, and that's the big deal. For me, it's every event I do leads me to another event. So if I can do more, then I can do more events. So number 5 is be cordial, be nice. And I know it sounds easy, but we see a lot of angry people out there when we drive, right? Yes. Shaking their fists and road raging.
But you told me something about that. You came to one of our mixers and you were talking about the type of music you play when you're riding in your car. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I do a lot of driving. I'll sometimes drive 50, 60 miles to an event. I put on Sade. That's my relaxing music. And I listen to Pandora in my car. And so I'll drive somewhere and just get involved in the music, or I'll call a friend I haven't talked to in a while with my earphones in. Right. I'm always compliant. But I love getting to events and being in a calm, relaxed environment. And if I get caught up in the traffic and what's going on, then it tends to put me in a bad place.
So you bring that energy with you.
You do.
You bring that energy with you. So if you're all stressed out and running to get there, and then you get there and you're all in a frenzy, you bring that energy with you. But you're all cool and Sade.
Right, I'm all Sade. We just made that into a verb.
Yes.
Sade, Anita Baker, Eric Benet, a lot of that smooth R&B stuff, it really mellows me out. So, the thing about life is, it's your experience of life.
That's right.
So some people say, oh man, this guy cut me out. Well, the guy didn't cut you off. He just happened to be making a lane change, but you took that personally. Right, and so when you're sitting in traffic, I always remember, I'm a big fan of personal development. And I remember, I said, why do people get so angry in traffic? And it's because we lose control. We want to go fast, right? Same thing in planes, right? People flip out in planes. There's a whole psychological phenomenon that happens when you put people in a confined space, whether it be their own car or the 10 freeway or the 405, whatever freeway you're on, they tend to flip out. And I've decided, I'm going to find a way to beat all that and just be calm. And so my way of beating it is the Sade channel on Pandora. So if you don't know what, look it up and go listen to it. It may bore some of you, but for me, it mellows.
It gets you to your destination.
It does.
With a peaceful aura around.
Right, and I'm cordial when I get there.
So if everyone in the room is flipping out, you're the calm one.
I'm the calm one, yeah. And people, some people that like to flip out don't like that because they want you to be in that same excited state that they're in. But for me, I have a lot of experience DJing. I have a lot of experience with weddings. It's all going to work out. And sometimes it's 5 or 10 minutes late. Guess what? That's okay. No one ever said, man, I went to that wedding and it was really on time. People don't care about on time. No. They care about what?
If it's beautiful and if the music is good.
And having a great time. And that's what we do for events. And that's what we teach at the Professional DJ Academy.
Right. And we're going to go back to that.
Okay, good. All right.
You're listening to Accelerated Radio Praise, 24-hour gospel music and talk. And tune in on Friday. I'm Ms. Charlene, and this is Lunch with the Finance Club. We're talking about networking, which is a part of marketing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a big part. I mean, you got to be telling people. And until you get to a point where people know your business, now because we've been in business for 14 years, the phone just rings. And I get an email and people just, and we try to track how they found out, but sometimes we forget to ask, but it's nice to be in a position where the phone just rings now and they've heard good things about your company and they want to book you for their corporate event or their wedding or whatever. It's really nice.
Yeah, because when you said and the phone just rang, that's the space everyone wants to be in.
Right.
Where, you're still, but you didn't stop there because you created a school. But everybody wants to be in that position where the phone is ringing and giving them business and giving them, places to go so they can create wealth.
Right. So I'll give you a little tip right now that we'll be sharing in the school, but I'm going to give it to your listeners right now. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
So as a DJ, I do a lot of public events where they're at a park or something like that. So I just did one recently for a breast cancer walk. And so one of the things I've discovered is I will, on the microphone, I'll say, all right, everyone pull out your cell phones. And I want you to put my number in your phone. So I'll say, DJ Cory, here's my phone number, 909-996-7775. And almost immediately, I'll start to receive text messages from numbers I don't have saved because these are just strangers.
Right.
But because I told them to put my number in their phone, they have it now.
That's right.
Guess what happens after that? A week later, a month later.
They go, that DJ guy.
Right.
They put
Right.
DJ in.
All they have to do is search DJ.
Right, and there you are.
I'm the only one probably that's popping
That's
up,
right.
And then I'll get a text message from them. Hey, I saw you at the breast cancer walk. I have another nonprofit event, or I have a birthday party, and how much do you charge? And so that's marketing. And how much did that cost me? Zero. I was at an event, I gave them my phone number, and especially if I played their song. And typically when they request things from me, it's always stuff I would play anyway.
Exactly.
Can I hear Beyonce? I'm like, sure you can hear Beyonce. Can I hear, Black Eyed Peas? Sure. And I play their music. And then now I've endeared myself to them. Even from long distance, I don't know who these people are typically. They'll send me a text, I'll text back and say, got it, and I'll play it. And so now they know a DJ. And everyone wants to know one person in each industry they can trust.
Right.
I need one good carpet guy. I need the taco guy for my party, and I need a great DJ. And so I'm on a lot of people's great DJ lists, and I think that's great. So this is the kind of things we're going to teach. It's not just how the X's and O's, because I'm a big football guy. It's not just the X's and O's of being a DJ. It's all the other things. It's how to really build your business.
Right.
$100,000 a year is $8,000 a month. It works out to $2,000 a week. I need to teach you how to make $2,000 a week, whether it's you or other people do it. And I know you're not doing that in your job.
They're not.
Right.
Yeah.
So as a way of kind of comparison, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I just recently did a wedding in Malibu, and it was $1,800 for 6 hours of work. So that equates to $10 an hour, okay, times 40 hours a week, times 6 weeks, and not a little less than 5 weeks. And so you can do that in one day if you're skilled, and we'll teach you the skills. And if you have the gumption, as it were, to say, this is what I'm worth.
And if you can be nice.
And cordial. Cordial. Just nice. Absolutely. And here's the thing. Right. People will pay you to be nice. And if you're skilled, and if if you come to the school and let me teach you what you know, and you learn, teach you what I know, it'll work. And so I just think sometimes I wanted to make this year, my goal, I made about $80,000 last year, gross. And I said, man, if I can make $100,000, that'd be a great story. And this year, we're going to make about $175,000 gross.
Start back over again.
Okay, so last year, well, here's another thing. If you're in business, you have to know your numbers.
That's right.
You got to know. So everyone's always amazed how I know how much I made. Well, I'm in business for myself, right? So we made about $75,000 last year, and I was excited and happy. Right? Now I don't get to keep all that. I have to pay the DJs as part of natural net, my business. And so I said, man, if I could go from 75 to 100, that'd be $25,000. That'd be great. Well, we worked really hard and we added another property as part of our system, and now we're going to make somewhere north of about $175,000 this year. So we went from 75 to 175 in 1 year. And you can't do that in your job. You can only do that if you have a business, and you can only do that if you have a great network of people helping.
We are talking about building wealth.
Absolutely.
And how to build and maintain wealth. And so you have to work with a network of people. You have the courage to get out there on your own in some way and make additional income, because a successful person usually has how many streams of income?
7.
That's right.
Average millionaire has 7 streams of income.
That's right. So when we're heading, we'd like our listeners to head in that $1 million lane.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And this is America. This is the important thing to understand. Some people think, well, that's them. Those people over there make a lot of money. No, the rules have been established by the governments and everything that says you can make as much money as you want. All we want are taxes.
That's right.
So the next thing is, well, if Bill Gates makes $37 million a day, how do I learn? And you have to make making money a study. Right, most people make getting a job a study. I'm just trying to get a job. That's great, but that will never make you wealthy. Now maybe you don't want to be wealthy.
That's fine too.
That's really okay too. Okay? Maybe you want to serve the Lord, and some people say, so, you know, the Lord, you need money to do that, right? How do you think churches get open?
That's right.
How do you think people get, you know, all those things happen? So it takes money to do the things, and if you want to learn how to become financially, you know, successful, independent, don't need to trust, you don't need to rely on anyone. You need to make it a study of how these people got rich, and you need to have a network of people helping. No one ever got rich on an idea that they created and did all themselves.
That's right.
Right, Bill Gates. It's very famous that he created Microsoft. But you realize when Microsoft was growing, he gave everyone stock options.
Right.
He said, "Look, you're working for me. We're not rich yet, but I'm going to give you stock in this company I'm starting called Microsoft." Well, what happened to those people when Microsoft went public? If you don't know, make a study of it. Right? If I had $1 million of stock, right, or let's say I had 50,000 stocks, right, and it went for $20 a piece, I am now what's called a millionaire. Because I have 50,000 shares of something that costs $20. Do the math. I think I'm correct. I think that's $1 million or close to it. I don't know if I'm right or not. Doesn't matter. You don't have to know how to count to $1 million to be a millionaire. You don't have to. You can hire people to do that.
That's
right?
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Watch them closely though.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, you should know how to get to $1 million first. That's the first thing. But second is no one ever gets there on their own. You got to have people around you. And I'm so happy to have the people I have in my business and the people I've learned from to help me, because no one ever attains a large amount of success on their own.
That's right.
Never. And if you think you're on your own, you weren't, because God's always right there with you.
That's
Right? And so, yeah.
Cory, I want you to give them the number, because at DJ School,
Absolutely.
you're going to make somebody very happy, lots of people. So give us, please.
Absolutely. Thank you again for having me on and letting me talk about it. So it's called the Professional DJ Academy. My cell phone is the best contact. It's area code 909-996-7775. Once again, 909-996-7775. And they can call me or text me. I'll get back to them personally myself. Or they can email me at professionaldjacademy@gmail.com. I hope so.
Absolutely.
I hope
Because
so.
I know there's people out there who want to learn this craft.
Right.
And to have the ability to make extra income on the weekend that can turn into, you know, their full-time career. And they, like you said, you get to take vacations. You get to not only, you know, impact your life, but the lives of others, you know, and you get to party while you do it.
I never.
Meet great people. Who gets paid to party?
Every day I go
Cory
to.
does.
I do. I'm like, wait. So let me get this straight. I get to eat free food,
Right.
show up to people's party,
Right.
play the music I love to hear anyway,
That's
and then at
right.
the end they gladly hand over a check.
And say thank you and refer you to other people.
Right.
And want you to come back and share.
I've been at so many events where someone will say, "Cory, come on over here," and they're introducing me to a friend who's having the same kind of event they're having in a couple months, and they want me to do that event. And so I don't know too many. I don't know too many professionals that will take time out of their schedule to say, "I want to teach you what I know."
Right.
And that's important, because you need to know what you're doing. I didn't get the opportunity to learn. I had to learn as I went, and sometimes that's painful. If you allow me to tell some stories and show you things, and the great thing is during the 8 weeks that students are in school, they can go with me to events.
Really?
Yeah, they can go with me. That's part of the mentoring part. So let's say you come to the first class and I have an event that weekend. I say, look, I'm looking for someone to help me. Someone comes, they have to be professionally dressed, all the things we teach them, but they get a chance to see that I not only preach it, but I practice what I preach live at events where I do what I'm going to teach them how to do. And that's a big deal.
Wow. So $500.
$500, that's it.
And they can start saving their money now.
Right.
And, you know, make that someone's Christmas present.
Right.
You know, whatever it is.
I'll take a check from grandma.
Right.
Right.
Two people getting together $250 a piece
Right.
to send one person so that they can make money, you know, as a college student, you know, as a young professional trying
Right.
to really get their heels into whatever their profession
As a school
is.
teacher.
As a school teacher.
Right.
you know, whatever your career path is, to
Right.
be able to do this on the weekend, to get paid to party and have someone teach you for as little as $500, that's amazing.
And if someone out there is saying, God, it sounds great, but January, I can't do it. I'm going to do the next class.
Right.
Great. The next class will cost you $2,000.
Right.
That's
So-
the actual price of the class.
Yeah.
I'm lowering it to $500 because I want people to come in. I want to have the first inaugural class. Right. After that, the price will immediately go up. So there is a sense of urgency to this
Yes.
thing. And how cool is it for you as a student to say, I was in the first
class. That's right.
Right. I was in the inaugural. We'll do something special for them. We need their stories of success to go out there and populate the next classes that come up. Eventually, there will be multiple schools. So there'll be one in Orange County. There'll be one in the Valley. It may be something we decide to do as a weekend kind of boot camp. A Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where someone can't take every week, but they can go for 3 consecutive days, and we'll teach them the whole class curriculum there. Eventually, it'll go viral, which means it will record the classes with video, and that'll be available. I always think about that person that's in Barcelona, Spain,
Right.
that wants to do it, and knows a little bit of English because the class will be in English, and then we can record them, and then they'll be able to see them. So the industry in and of itself has only been around since about the mid-'70s, the mobile DJ industry.
We can have them translated.
We can. We know people. Yeah, yeah. And so I'm really excited. It's kind of a one-of-a-kind idea. I'm really happy to help people. And if I can help someone, like I said, the first person that makes $100,000 from coming to the class that never did it before, or maybe just got started, comes into class and learns some valuable things, and then goes and builds a great life for them and their family, I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I know it's going to be great. I know it's going to be great.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to have your first success story. I'm going to have them come back,
Okay.
male or female, and
Right.
talk to us on this show about how they went from being a student, how they saved their $500, couldn't wait to get into the class, got in, and now they're working for themselves on the weekend.
Absolutely. And we want more ladies. Like I said,
Yes,
it's a male-dominated industry, but there's
Ladies,
nothing right. They can,
don't let our gender stop us.
right.
That's right.
Right. It's the same business whether you're male or female. It's playing music, talking on the microphone, and building a business. And I believe ladies can do it probably even better than men. Okay? we'll go with that. We'll go with that for sure.
Girl power.
That's right. I think everyone can be successful if they want to.
You're listening to Accelerated Radio Praise, 24-hour gospel music and talk. And we're talking to Cory Newman today. You call in at 323-238-0445 with questions and comments. You can reach us on www.acceleratedradio.net. That's where you can listen and tune in every Friday at lunchtime. And you're talking to Ms. Charlene with lunch in the front of the finance fund. Cory, I'm so happy to have you here. Please give us your phone number one more time.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you again for having me. Professional DJ Academy, 909-996-7775. Or email is professionaldjacademy@gmail.com.
As a closing comment, I'd like to say that, you can't get this anywhere else. $500 for a class in entrepreneurship, because that's what it is, and to have your own business. Don't let this opportunity pass. Don't let anything stop you. Work for it. Get in there and give Cory a call, because this could change your life.
Thank you so much for having me on here. Yeah, I
Love
appreciate
you.
it. Yeah, love you too.